Hello everyone, my name is Shreya and I am a legal intern at Lexis and Company. I am pursuing BLLB honors from Law College, Dehradun, Uttaranchal University. I am currently in 7th semester and I am glad to have this opportunity of interning at Lexis and Company, because of which I am able to present to you guys with this video. So the purpose and topic for this video will be the bank frauds in India and the legal measures to control these bank frauds in India. So let's begin. I'll explain to you what a fraud is and what bank frauds are, the different kinds of bank frauds which take place commonly in India, and at last I'll be explaining to you guys with the legal measures to control such bank fraud. So let's begin. So what is a fraud? Fraud is a dishonest act and behavior by which one person one person intends to gain an advantage over the another person by legal means. So in a similar way, bank fraud is a deliberate act of omission or commission by any person carried out in the course of banking transaction or in the course of the accounts of books of accounts maintained manually or under the computer system in the bank. So it may result into a wrongful gain to any person, either temporarily or permanently, with or without any loss to the bank. It does um, it it may not be every time that there is a loss to the bank cost, but mainly there are losses to the bank cost. So these losses which are sustained by the banks are the losses generally due to robbery, dacoity, burglary and theft, or all at once. Not just one thing, but there may be many. There may be theft, burglary together also. So there is one thing, the unauthorized credit facilitate are extended for illegal gratification cash such as cash credit, which is allowed against the pledge of goods, and hypothecation of goods against the bills or against the book debts. So yeah, this is common modus operandi also are common modus operandi, and pledging of spurious goods and inflating of value of goods and etc also takes place when a big bank fraud is to be created or even a small bank fraud is to be done. These are the little things which take place, which people do in order to commit a bank fraud. So a fraud which is in deposit accounts take place by the fraud in a deposit accounts takes place when a person opens a bogus accounts by forging signatures, etc. You open a bank account which is similar to your original account and you copy signature, and hence you intend to commit a bank fraud related to your deposit accounts. So if we study closely to study these bank frauds, it reveals many common basic features. So uh, there may be have been negligence or dishonesty at some point of time by any bank employee or any other person also. And on the one part, on the one or the more part of the bank employees, one of them may have colluded with the borrower, and the bank officials may have been putting up with those bank officials may have been the bank officials may have been putting up with the borrowers sharp practices for their personal gains, and in all such cases the result would be more or less the same, fraud, and in consequence there will be a loss of money and prestige to the bank. So these bank frauds are the failure of the banker, we can say in one way, And it does mean that the external frauds do not defraud the banks, but if the banker is upright and knows his job, and so the task of the defrauder will become extremely difficult, if not possible. So role of a banker is very important in the prevention of these bank frauds which commonly take place. And it should, however, be considered that in spite of all the possible safeguards and precautions that the human ingenuity can desire, there may be still a wily customer, or customer who may have the upper hand in the battle of wits and succeed in cheating a bank. So there may be cases in despite any prevention acts taken by the bank employees. Thus, there are certain ways or steps which shall be adopted to prevent these bank frauds, and some of the legal measures to prevent these bank frauds are as follows. So, in India, basically, so first is by the PSBs have been asked to rationalize the overseas operations. The state owned banks have been instructed to rationalize overseas operation by consolidating the non viable branches, which is a part of the big plan to a clean and responsive banking system in the country. And second, the parliament have passed the fugitive economic offenders bill into the law. It was in order to help solve the problem NPA problem of the banking system. Hence the fugitive economic offenders act of 2000 act came into force on 21st April 2018 in order to solve this NPA problem of banking system. Third, by the establishment of the National Financial Reporting Authority, that is NFRA, as an independent regulator for the auditing profession. Next, by setting up of committees, there was the Y.H. Milligan Committee, which was constituted by RBI to look into the rising instances of the fraud, and RBI constituted this specific committee to look into the matter of bad loans, including matters of the effectiveness of audits and classification of bad loans and the rising number of incidents of fraud cases. Next is by recruitment and selection. The right type of person with necessary qualifications and aptitudes uh, for the required conditions of the banking system should be recruited, and there should be a certain standard of the bank employees working in the various banks, so that they can be very effective in their job and help prevent the bank frauds at common instances. And next is by setting up the private lives of the staff, and they should be watched and their difficulties should be sought out with the help of the bank. A member of the staff who is a habitual borrower or lives beyond his means can be one who can ultimately let the bank down. So such person should be protected by the bank, because such may be the easy targets of the witty customers who may intend to defraud the bank. So they should be protected. Next is by supervision and regular audits, and there should be danger signals also issued. Particular attention must be paid to the accounts wherein the debt balance usually remains very near the sanction limit or the drawing limit. So this was about the danger signal should be given at these instances. And there should be unsurplus parties. The bank should be careful in accepting new customers, and and the one who has been noticed to follow the undesirable practice or is known to have committed a fraud, such customers should be avoided by the bank, and a routine and procedure should be meticulously followed by every bank according to their conditions. And at last, yeah, there should be vigilant training and adoption of security policy, and the security risk analyzation should also be done, because vigilance is a mental state and is a mental state and applicable to rank and file. It is a managerial function, and the preventive vigilance should evolve should ensure safeguard of assets and proper transaction and etc. So there should be vigilance training, adoption of the security policy also. So this was it about the various legal methods for controlling bank frauds in India. I hope you guys have liked this video. Please ask any question if you have any, and share the feedback, and also like and share this video. So thank you everyone for watching.